bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be.
The Russian military is within its right to operate within international airspace, but they must behave within international standards set to ensure safety and prevent incidents, including the 1972 Agreement for the Prevention of Incidents on and over the High Seas (INCSEA). Unsafe actions increase the risk of miscalculation and mid-air collisions.
Sometimes you need to go, take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. To be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
The U.S. aircraft was operating in accordance with international law and did not provoke this Russian activity. It's not entirely clear what video system recorded this footage. It could have been a FLIR-like turret, but a pod was also designed and built recently by the Navy to record precisely this type of evidence. In 2016, the Naval Research Laboratory converted an ALQ-167 electronic warfare pod to a new configuration dubbed the Common Airborne Situational Awareness (CASA) pod. As we described on the system, the unit is made up of the housing of ALQ-167 electronic warfare training pod that has been adapted with apertures for multiple wide-angle HD video and still cameras and the ability to record and transmit the imagery collected by these cameras in real time. The idea is that this new pod can record an unsafe intercept in great detail from every angle, and that the footage recorded from it will likely be used for public release as well as intelligence gathering purposes. Regardless of if this system was used or not, the encounter is not an encouraging development considering American surveillance aircraft operate over the Black Sea, and especially near or even over Ukraine, on a daily basis. These include regular flights by RC-135 Rivet Joints, P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, and especially RQ-4 Global Hawk unmanned spy planes. Russia has beefed up their air defense capabilities on the Crimean Peninsula dramatically since seizing the territory from Ukraine in 2014. Beyond the flanker derivatives, Moscow has forward air, surface-to-air missile capabilities. Moscow said that the plane was scrambled when an unidentified flying object was detected heading for the Russian border. The Su-27 approached the aircraft and identified it as a U.S. Navy Year-3 Cyrillic letter yet Aries II, a commonly used surveillance plane. The ministry said that the jet shepherded it at a safe distance before the spy plane changed course away from Russian airspace. It was conducted in accordance with international regulations, and there were no emergency situations, the Russian Ministry of Defense said in a statement. Moscow said that the plane was scrambled when an unidentified flying object was detected heading for the Russian border. The Su-27 approached the aircraft and identified it as a U.S. Navy Year-3 Cyrillic letter yet Aries II, a commonly used surveillance plane. The ministry said that the jet shepherded it at a safe distance before the spy plane changed course away from Russian airspace. The U.S. State Department has lashed out at Moscow, calling the incident the latest example of Russian military activities disregarding international norms and agreements. Denouncing the intercept, it urged Russia to cease these unsafe actions. It's very hard to believe that the EP-3E was classified as unidentified when hobbyist plane trackers could easily track it using virtual radar applications as it made its way toward the Crimean Peninsula. This incident is just one of a seemingly never-ending string of between Russian fighters and American including those that and again. In fact, they are so numerous that we have stopped reporting on them unless there is something new or unique about the encounter. But above all else, this is just another sign of the frigid relations between Moscow and Washington, and it surely won't be the last time video like this is released by the Department of Defense. Change anything, but considering how tense things are today, such a miscalculation could end up leading to a major standoff and even a conflict, not just frayed diplomatic nerves. It will be interesting to see how the U.S. responds to this provocation. The surveillance flights won't stop, but the U.S. could launch fighter escorts out of one of its allies' bases in the region. This could be seen as a serious escalation by Moscow, and executing such a mission would require persistent tanking support and far more elaborate logistics than just sending a surveillance aircraft into the region on its own. But it may just be necessary considering these recent developments. Sadly, it will most likely take another incident like the one that happened to